Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Theravada Buddhism series, Dhamma talk number 46, about feeling, Vedana. This topic came up based on a meditation interview of a yogi a week ago. Vedana, in English feeling, has a specific meaning. It is a state of a being, pleasant, unpleasant, and neutral, when one comes in contact with a physical or mental object. It is a mental factor, cetasika, that accompanies every consciousness of a being. It is neither wholesome or unwholesome. However, it can take one to an unwholesome or wholesome path based on the conditions. Or its associates, mental associates. When it comes to feeling, most of us have an auto response. We feel pleasant about things and we like it. And when we feel unpleasant about things, we don't like it. We are non-reactive or oblivious to neutral feelings. These mental states keep us in the rounds of samsara, the cycle of life. However, if we are mindful at the moment of arising of Vedana, the feeling, we don't fall in love or hate, and we are sure of the true nature of Vedana at that moment. Then one does not step into the wholesome or unwholesome path, and karma cannot be formed. Vedana is one of the four foundations of mindfulness. By practicing Satipatthana Vipassana, one escape from the cycle of life. In other words, if you practice on Vedana, you can escape from samsara. If you overwhelm Vedana, understand Vedana, one can cut off this circle of life. Vedana is also one of the critical factors in understanding and classifying the type of consciousness that reinforced the understanding of non-self. Buddha taught many people of different personalities and intelligence. Even though he taught the same subject, the same Dharma, the approach varies based on the maximum efficiency and benefits of the targeted audience. Elaborate in detail for intelligent people to grab their attention and to match their analytical power. Sometimes the Buddha skips steps in between and give a moderate version so that the audience could or would not feel tedious, but still get the salient points, the key point, and attain insight. Sometimes the Buddha taught those who had great paramis just with one line to enlightenment. That's why one of his qualities is the master of all teachers, the most skillful teacher, bar none. Buddha taught Vedana, the feeling, as having 5 kinds, 3 kinds, 2 kinds, and only one at different places and at different times. Sometimes he talked to the audience, there are 5 Vedanas. And another place he will say, there's only one Vedana. One can find in different parts of the scripture with these different enumeration. 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 5 kinds of Vedana. But as we are learning now, it is confusing due to the non-conformity of the facts at various places and time on the same subject. So let's see why it is not conforming, for what reason, or how it is presented. Let's look first of all the 5 kinds of Vedana. The first one is called Dukkha Vedana. It is used for all pain and discomfort in the body that comes from the physical source. In other words, there's a pain in your joints, knees, hips, ankle, neck, and so on. Any discomfort or pain arising in the body is called the physical source. However, we need to know Vedana actually is a mental factor. Cetasika, mental factor. Vedana is not physical at all. It's mental. There is always pain and discomfort in our bodies all the time. Sometimes we are aware, sometimes we are not aware. There's always pain or discomfort in the body, and it requires awareness to cognize and experience it. If you are not aware of the pain, you can't experience it. If you become aware of the pain, you can experience it. The body's disbalance of the 4 great elements manifest a painful feeling. The body is made up of 4 great elements: water elements, fire elements, wind elements, earth elements. And they operate in harmony. Whenever that harmony is broken, when one of the elements becomes excess or deficient, severe or very noticeable pain arises. That's what it means by the pain coming from the physical source. Just to have a clearer understanding, I'll give you an example. Corpse, C-O-R-P-S-E, corpse. Okay? A body without consciousness, dead person. Is totally in a state of disbalance of the 4 elements. 4 elements broke down. Water leaking, become cold, heavy, and so on. So, as there is a disbalance, there must be pain, and there is pain. But there is no consciousness in that body. As there is no consciousness to become aware of any object. Only when there is an object, it has a quality to know, ability to know the object. Without consciousness, it cannot know anything, any object. Therefore, in a dead body corpse, painful sensation is absent, even though the 4 element has broken down. That is Dukkha Vedana. Dukkha Vedana, that's what it's called. The next one is called Dominasa Vedana. Dominasa. It is a painful feeling from a mental source. Source, mental source. Experienced by the mind. An example, when a person recalls a dissatisfying or disastrous event that had taken place, there arises the unpleasant feeling or unpleasant Vedana in the mind. And that is called Dominasa. Dominasa is the unpleasant feeling arising from the mental source. The third one, Sukkah Vedana. It is a pleasant feeling in the mind that comes from the physical source. For instance, a person is stroking a cat and feels very good, enjoyable. That is Sukkah Vedana. The next one is Somanasa Vedana. When a person recalls a happy event, feels pleasant, feels good. And that is Somanasa Vedana. It arises from mental source. So we have two unpleasant feelings, one from physical source. It's called dukkha. And the other from mental source is called dominasa. And there's a pleasant feeling, one from physical source is called Sukkah. And one from mental source is called Somanasa. There are 4 kinds already. And the fifth and the last one is Upekkha Vedana. A feeling that is not strong and cannot produce pleasant or unpleasant feeling is called neutral feeling. A physical or mental object in contact with the mind a physical or mental object of average or very common in nature comes in contact with the mind, cannot produce a detectable feeling, and that is called neutral feeling, Upekkha Vedana. So that is what it means by 5 kinds of feeling. And in some sutta, Buddha will explain about Vedana feeling with this 5 types or 5 kinds for those who want to know in detail. And sometime in the scripture, Buddha said there's only 3 feelings, 3 types of Vedana. Okay, why suddenly 5 become 3? When Buddha says there are only three feelings, he's referring to dukkha, sukkha, and upekkha. Pleasant, unpleasant, and neutral feeling. So, what's the difference between these 5 types and 3 kinds of Vedana? It is actually the same, except in this category, when the Buddha said dukkha vedana, it includes both physical and mental sources. Both are under dukkha vedana. He doesn't split into dukkha and domanassa. Both dukkha and domanassa combined is called dukkha vedana. The same applies for the Sukkah vedana. Under the Sukkah vedana, both Sukha and Somanassa are there. In other words, Sukkah vedana covers both physical and mental sources. And the third one is Upekkha vedana, neutral feeling. So, in some of the sutta, the Buddha mentioned there are 3. And when he said 3, that's what it means. In fact, it is 5. But he gave us a condensed version, some in terms of types, 3 types. Actually, they are one and the same, 5 and 3. And in some cases, the Buddha said there are only 2 kinds of Vedana, feeling. So, how does it become 2? These 2 kinds of Vedana consist of dukkha and sukha. Painful and happy. Dukkha vedana is the unpleasant feeling. Okay, both physical and mental sources. Sukha vedana is a pleasant feeling coming from both physical and mental sources. There are 2. So where is the neutral feeling? A neutral feeling does not give discomfort or disturbance. Neutral feeling does not have discomfort or disturbance. That's why it is considered pleasant. When there's no discomfort, it's good. When there's no disturbance, it's good. So, it's why it's considered as pleasant. That's why neutral feeling stay under the wing of Sukkah. When the Buddha says there are only 2 types of feeling, he means unpleasant feeling, both from physical and mental source, and pleasant feeling from physical source, mental source, as well as neutral feeling because it has no disturbance and discomfort. That's how it becomes 2. So, in reality, 5 kinds of Vedana, 3 kinds of Vedana, 2 kinds of Vedana are one and the same. Buddha presented in a different way, under a different context, based on the nature of the audience and how they would grab it or understand it. And there's one more. On some occasion, the Buddha said, Bhikkhu, there's only one feeling. That's it. There's only one feeling, not 2, not 3, not 5, only one. So, what does he really mean by that? Here, the Buddha meant all feelings are impermanent, arise and passes away. Every feeling arises and passes away, arises and passes away. They are impermanent. Therefore, it is subject to the constant oppression of impermanence. Impermanence oppressed this feeling. That's why under this context there is only one feeling, because every kind of feeling, 2 or 3 or 5, they are all the same. They arises and pass away. Buddha was pointing out the first noble truth: suffering, oppression by the nature of impermanence. I hope this talk clarifies some confusion you may have on Vedana, feeling. If you are mindful, you will know at the moment of arising of this Vedana, you see as it is. What is as it is? It arises and passes away. And if you know it arises and passes away, that feeling has no more function to do, nothing to do anymore. Only if you don't know, only if you are not mindful, that pleasant feeling become craving, liking, lobha. Unpleasant feeling become aversion, dosa. And the wheel of karma turns round and round into samsara. But if you know at the moment of arising of Vedana, whatever that may be, you know it's simply arising and passing away. It is simply constantly oppressed by impermanence. If you see the first noble truth, dukkha sissa, the wheel of samsara is totally broken down. May all of you be able to practice Satipatthana Vipassana meditation and be able to break down the wheel of samsara at the point of feeling with a strong, firm, and precise mindfulness, and escape from the cycle of life as soon as possible. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you very much.